This is 100 Days of Python with Bill Mosley, the 100-day Code Along With Me challenge, where you can learn Python by following along through various programs and challenges. If you want the entire list here, you can see it at bmosley.com/htp. There's a link below the video, and let's get started. We're picking up on our third day of working in the employee database with dictionaries and custom functions. I'm going to start out here with the part 2 finished code, and so I'm going to copy that, and we will use that as our starting point for the next day. So here I am in PyCharm, and right now we've got an employee application with this data structure, and we have the ability to add an employee, terminate an employee, list employees, and exit the program as part of our main menu. And so we've got these functions that we've built to generate the ID, add an employee, list the employees, and terminate the employees. And so there are a couple of more things that I want to do. And the first thing I want to do is I want to give everybody a raise. That sounds nice, doesn't it? So I'm going to add a menu option, str menu equals, we'll make that option 3. And for now, I'm going to put pass in that menu option. And right here, I'm going to add option 3 as well to the printed menu. Let's give everyone a raise. And now let's write our function. So we're going to say def give all raise. We're going to use emp data, pass it our data structure, and inside the function we're going to refer to our data structure as emp data. So what's involved with giving people a raise? The first thing we want to do is we want to find out how much to give them a raise, and we are going to express this as a percentage. So if the user types in 10, then we will divide that by 100 and reduce that to a 10% raise. So let's ask for this from the user, and I'm going to say str raise equals input, and we'll say what is the raise percentage, and I will say ex example 10. So we'll give them an example, and hopefully they will get the idea here. So how can we make sure that they enter 10 instead of 1,000 or instead of 0.10, something like that? So the easiest way is to make sure that this is an integer, and we want to make sure that this is less than 100 and greater than 0. So that's a pretty easy thing to do, but we don't want to let them move on until they've entered the right thing. So if we want to hold them captive, so to speak, what we're going to do is we're going to put them in a loop. So we'll put them in a while true loop, and then all we have to do is keep checking this and not break out of that loop until they give us something we want. So the first thing we need to do is, since this is a string, we're going to check and make sure it's numeric. And if we say is numeric, then that makes sure that what they've entered is, at least so far, an integer. So let's do this. We're going to say if strRaise dot is numeric, then that's a good thing, right? If it's not, we're going to print, and don't worry about the error underline here, that's just because I don't have anything here yet, but I'm going to print you must enter a number without decimals. Okay, so there's that. And if they do enter a numeric number, now we need to make sure that that number is changed to an integer first. So I'm going to say int raise equals int, which changes this string to an int, and I'm going to give it strRaise as an argument. Now we have an integer, and we can make sure that that is within our range. So we're going to do less than or equal to 100 and greater than 0. So if int raise, and I'm going to go ahead and add parentheses here so I know my condition is greater than 0 and int raise is less than or equal to 100, then we are going to break, because that is a good amount. And if it's not, you must enter the correct amount. You must enter a number between 1 and 100. Oops, better fix this. There we go. So now if they enter the correct number, we're in good shape. So now we have a number, and notice I'm outside the loop here. I'm indented all the way back to this level, which means once it gets out of this loop via this break, int raise can be used to give the person a raise. Now what I need to do is loop through all of the data, find their salary, and multiply it times the raise factor, and then put that data back in the salary. Okay, so those are the steps. So I'm going to say for key in EMP data, I'm going to say int salary equals, and I'm going to say the int salary equals the EMP data. We use the key to identify the record, and then we are using this key to identify the salary. So the main key that we're iterating through selects the record, and then we're using salary, which returns this. And that's not actually an int, right? It's a float. So we've got to go back here. We want to say FL salary because it's a float. And then we're going to say FL salary equals, now remember, we have to change this to a percentage. So we're going to say FL salary times 1 plus, and we're going to say the int raise divided by 100. So if this becomes a 1, well, this will say 1.01%, so that'll be a slight raise, but it will still be there. That's a 1% raise. So let's do that, and then we are going to say print, and we're going to say this is an F string, and we're going to say EMP data key, and then we're going to say F name. So we're going to put the person's name in here, first name, and then last name. And let's call this the new salary, so we can use the old salary and the new salary. Got a raise from FL this to FL new, and we want to make sure point to F that those are formatted correctly. Point to F, make sure that those have 2 points after the decimal. So we've printed the new salary. Next we do EMP data key salary equals FL salary new, and that updates the data, and now we just need to return EMP data. Okay, now that should give everybody the raise. And then what we want to do here is we want to say DEMP because we're updating the main data structure. Give all raise, DEMP. All right, let's check this out and see how it works. So we've got, how many employees do we have right now? You know what? I didn't have the give a raise in here. Let's save that. Oh, I'm running the wrong version of the program. I'm glad I figured that out. Let's run the right version. So let's list the employees. We've got 2 employees. That's a good enough start. Let's give everyone a raise. They're doing such a good job. Let's do a 10% raise. And that worked out pretty perfectly. So the raise from 98 to 108,000, you can see 10% of that is about $10,000, slightly less, and we came in just perfectly there. So everybody got a raise. Very exciting. So that worked out pretty well. And now if I list the employees, we have the new salary amounts there. So that's it for today. And let's exit the program here, and we'll see you next time.